Korey Hicks, and this is Effective Practice for the Guitar, episode number 3. And today we're going to be going through all of our major scales. So you have 12 chromatic pitches, there's a major scale built on each. So 7 patterns, you're going to have 84 different positions of the major scale. And not even just that, this is going to give you 588 positions of the major diatonic modes. Yeah, it's that big, okay? So by just memorizing 7 patterns and figuring out where to play them, you're going to get probably over 90% of all of the diatonic music that you've ever heard in your life. And you're never again going to have to use a tab book or a tutorial or have someone show you where to find something, because there'll be a logical way to find it yourself. So it's pretty cool. When I look back at all the things I've practiced through the years, this was the single defining moment, hands down, of anything that I ever learned. The person I was on the guitar before I learned this and the person I was after, completely different. The way I approached music, the way that I learned songs, the way I improvised, everything changed. So please take this to heart. This is going to be a really cool thing for a lot of you if you don't know how to do this already. Okay, so we have those 7 patterns that we learned for C major last time. So let's take a look at my diagram. So I have a guitar fretboard here, and I have all the way up to the 21st fret. We all know that the 12th fret is the octave, and everything repeats. So if the 1st fret is F, the 13th fret is F, okay? So this right here is the major scale formula. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. As guitar players, we can think of this as 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret, 2 frets, 2 frets, 1 fret. Meaning, if I did want to play anything on the guitar in a linear fashion, say I started on the note D, whole step to E, whole step to F sharp, half step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, half back to D. Okay? So you could do it that way if you wanted to. Or you could just do it this way. And again, there's lots of different ways to play these things. So pattern 1, we found out, starts on the note C. So pattern 1 starts on the 1st note of the scale. Pattern 2 starts on the 2nd note of the scale. Pattern 3 starts on the 3rd note of the scale. Pattern 4 starts on the 4th note of the scale. Pattern 5 on the 5th. Pattern 6 on the 6th. Pattern 7 on the 7th. Now, a lot of times when a student gets confused about this stuff, when the light bulb finally goes on, this is what happens. Wait a minute. You're saying that, so G's the 5th note of the key of C, so I just play pattern 5 on G? Yeah. So wait a minute, so the 6th note is pattern 6? Yeah. So if I'm in B flat and I want to play pattern 2, I just go to the 2nd note and play the 2nd pattern? Yeah. It's very simple, actually. And a lot of times, if this isn't clicking for you, it might be because you're just overthinking it. Okay? It's actually quite simple. Okay. So, but we are going to have a couple of different methods to practice this, just to make sure that it becomes ingrained in your playing. The first is we're going to do parallel by pattern. What this means is we're going to use cycle 4, and we're going to explore one pattern for all 12 keys. So let me say that again. Parallel means we're going to take, say, pattern 3, and we're going to find it in the key of C. Then we're going to take pattern 3 of the key of F, pattern 3 of the key of B flat, right? All the way around, okay? So let's do that right now. So I'm going to play pattern 1 of the key of C. And then I'm going to go find it in F. F's at the 1st fret. Same exact fingering. And I will get the notes of the F major scale. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then I'm going to go to B flat, and I'm going to play the notes of the B flat major scale. Same fingering, same pattern. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. And then I'm going to find the key of E flat. So E flat's at the 11th fret. Play the same pattern there. I'll get the notes E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D. And then I'm going to go to the key of A flat. So that's at the 4th fret. And then I'll get the notes A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat. And yes, you should be able to say the major scales that quickly. It's not a hard thing, it's just something that you can practice. We'll probably talk about that in a separate video, being able to verbalize everything that you're talking about, right? So you can verbalize, someone says, hey, what is a, I don't know, an A Dorian scale? Well, it's A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, right? Being able to say that verbalize it. It's very important, okay? It helped me a lot. So just knowing what the notes are gives you a confidence in your playing because you know what it is, and it helps you find things pretty well. Okay, so we're at A flat, going to D flat. So I'm going to play pattern 1 on D flat, which is the 9th fret, which gives me the notes D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, and then C and D flat, okay? And then going to F sharp, so that's the 2nd fret. Okay, so now we have F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp. Okay, that E sharp is enharmonically F, but we already have a type of F in an F sharp major scale, so we call it E sharp. Okay? All right, going on to the key of B, that's at the 7th fret. Same pattern, pattern 1. Then we have B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Okay? Then we're going to go to the key of E, which is going to be open, or the 12th fret as well. Now, of course, all of these patterns you can play in different locations, right? So E major is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and D sharp. And then I'm going to A major, which is at the 5th fret. Same pattern again. Cool. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. And then I'm going to go to the key of D, which is at the 10th fret. Same pattern again. Now I have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. And then I finally go to the last pattern, which is G, which is G, A, B, C, D, F sharp. Okay? And then you have played pattern 1 in all 12 keys. And what you're doing is you're trying to say to yourself, okay, so anytime I need this pattern, say I'm playing the key of F sharp, you just go there and find it. That's basically all your practice is. Well, how do I practice this? Go there, find it. Okay? Someone says, hey, let's, play me a melody in B major. Find a B. And just do it, right? You can do this with a metronome, and we'll get into the specifics on how to practice this every day once you kind of have this down. But we're still kind of in the conception of this, that part of it. So the idea is that you're able to do this quickly without much thought. So what I would do is C, then F. So you'd be able to find it, right? B flat, E flat, A flat. So you're able to find them quickly, right? You don't want to have a whole lot of thought going on. Okay, so we've just done the entire pattern 1. So now, if you look at our diagram here, the 2nd pattern of a major scale starts on the 2nd note. So for the key of C major, I find C, I go up to the 2nd note of a C major scale, and I play pattern 2. Okay? So when I go to F, I find F, go to pattern 2, and then play it there. B flat major, pattern 2. B flat, go to its 2nd note, play the 2nd pattern. Okay? E flat, go to E flat, go to its 2nd note, which happens to be F. So you could bring it down here and play pattern 2. A flat, pattern 2, find the A flat, go to its 2nd note, play the 2nd pattern. Then I have to go to D flat, find a D flat, go to its 2nd note, play the 2nd pattern. So hopefully you get that. Okay, so pattern 3 is based on the 3rd note of a major scale. So in the key of C, I went C, D, E, start there, and play the 3rd pattern. So when you get to this, you're further away, right? Maybe you don't want to do the whole 1, 2, 3 count up and do it. So maybe you want a different reference point. The pinky, if you look at the scale patterns that I've given you guys, the pinky is on the root of the key. Meaning if I know my A string, I can find the root. So I know a C is on the 15th fret of the A string, and so this is where my pattern is. Okay, so even though I'm starting at the 12th fret on the low E, I am finding that pattern based on the A string 15th fret. If that's a new concept to a lot of you guys, it's something that you will need to get fast. Okay, so next I'm going to find pattern 3 of F, F, G, A, or find the A string and F note. So therefore the pattern starts on the 5th fret. So there's my key of F, and I'm going to go to the key of B flat. Now I'm going to go to the key of E flat. Now I'm going to go to the key of A flat. Now I'm going to go to the key of D flat, all the way around to G, all the way through. Okay? Moving on to our pattern 4, the fourth pattern is going to be on the fourth note. So if I'm in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, and then go a half step to 4, see? So, C, whole step to D, whole step to E, then a half step to the fourth pattern. You can see it on here, see, half step to F, okay? Another way you can do that, the root on pattern 4 is going to be on the A string, and it's going to be the note played with your middle finger. So if I am in C major, I can find my C here, and then I just know to start below. Now, one of the other things that you can do is you can use a chord for reference. I love doing this. So you take your C chord, if you know this A bar chord, right? And there's your pattern right there, based off of that chord. So if I want an F, there's my pattern 4 for F. What if I want a B flat? I go here. Or E flat. Okay? And it'll take a little while for that to become instantaneous for you, but it is there for you. So you go through all 12 with that, and then you're going to move on to pattern 5. Now pattern 5 is pretty much the same as pattern 4 as far as finding it. So I play that same A chord. So this is the C form, or the A form of C caged, right? So it looks like an A, sounds like a C, bar chord, C note on the A string, just goes straight below it. That's your pattern 5. And you start there. So that's pattern 5 of the key of C. I find F. Here's pattern 5 of the key of F. B flat. Here's pattern 5 of the key of B flat. E flat. Here's pattern 5 of the key of E flat. Makes sense? You go all the way around with that. Okay, pattern 6 is actually really easy. You find your root with your pinky on the low E string. So if I want C major, I'd find pinky on C, like this. And then my first finger would be on the 5th fret, see? C, B, A, right? And then I have pattern 6 of the key of C major. When looking for the key of F, I put my pinky on F. Here's pattern 6 for the key of F. If I want the key of B flat, find a B flat on the low E string with my pinky. Boom. Pattern's right there. Find the key of E flat, pinky on E flat. Pattern's right there. A flat. D flat. Right? Makes sense? All the way around. Pattern 7 is actually really simple too. You don't count up to 7, you actually just go back 1 fret. So here's a C note. If I want to play pattern 7, it's just 1 fret below it because it's whole half, right? So if this is pattern 7, C is 1 fret above it. So here's pattern 7 of C major. Pattern 7 of F major. You can play it open like this. We can play it up here, right? Okay, so you do that for all of them. And then you are done, okay? So when you're practicing parallel, you're just gonna take one pattern and you're just gonna go all over the neck, seeing if you can find it. And what I like doing is give yourself a little bit of performance anxiety. So you can start coming up with these little things like, okay, you have 5 seconds to find B major and it has to be pattern 3, right? So you try to give yourself some sort of reason to get there quickly, right? Act like you're at a jam session and someone just calls a song in the key of B major and you have to solo over it. Some sort of thing where you are going to be forced to do it quickly. You can also go back and forth with a friend or a family member and have them quiz you on it. It is important to understand how many total things we're talking about here. So we have 84 patterns. So if you had a friend, you could say, hey, here's the 12 chromatic pitches of the major scale, and what I want you to do is pick a random note, D flat. Okay, and then I want you to pick a random number 1 through 7, 5. Cool. And then you have to find that really quickly. that's actually probably one of the best things that you can do with somebody else. And maybe you can get together with another guitar player, right? You can actually call up anyone you want or set up a Zoom meeting, and you just go back and forth. You say, okay, so I want E flat major, and it has to be pattern 3. So the other person would play that, and then he'd say, okay, so now I want A major, pattern 6. And then he would play that here. Oh yeah, well I want E major, pattern 7. And he'd play this. And then someone would say, you know, D flat major, pattern 4, and then she would play this, right? So having a game like that is actually really helpful when being with another guitar player to kind of figure this stuff out. I'm sure you guys can hear my wonderful 6 children screaming in the background. That is actually going to be a big feature of these videos. So cuteness, yes. Okay, so that's how we do parallel. And then diatonic by key means that you are going to play the entire key. So you might ask somebody, say, hey, what I want you to do is play me the key of A flat major from the lowest position. So A flat major, the lowest frettable position, is actually 6. That's pattern 6. So they would play you, you know, pattern 6. Maybe they'd come down pattern 7, up pattern 1, down pattern 2, maybe up pattern 3, right? So I'm just kind of doing this as kind of a, what I call like a W pattern. And then here's the 7th pattern that I would have been playing. Actually, I'm going back up the octave, right? So having somebody say that to you, you can also just pick a key a day. It'll take you 12 days to get through all of them. But the point is that you're able to find any of these 84 patterns on demand, okay? And so I'll write this out. This is kind of, and it's on the scale sheet. And so this is the question: play blank scale or key, right, from blank pattern. Okay? So, and you can make some sort of randomizer here. Play D flat major scale from pattern 6. Play E major scale from pattern 3. Okay? And so your goal is to get to a place where you can find any of these 84 patterns on demand. Okay? So I want you guys to get started with that. Remember, doing them both parallel, meaning you're focusing on the pattern and how to find that in 12 keys, and then diatonic, which is actually how we're going to use these in real music. You're in a key, and so you're looking at the fretboard and the key of D flat from here to here. So you're able to connect these things. All right, well, that is all for today. Next lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how to run this as a drill every day. And I'm actually going to have something called Guitar Practicing Partner or Guitar Practicing Buddy, where there's going to be a lot less talking from me, and it's actually going to be you practicing with me. So I might say, today's key is A flat, and then we would play through it, and then I'll give you an opportunity to practice the scales the way that I do every single day. I'll just say that most of my students, when they get to the place where you guys are at right now, where you're just kind of putting this stuff together, a couple weeks, I'll kind of check in with them and I'll say, so how are your scales going? They'll be like, great, everything's awesome. And they're like, cool, can we practice together? And then we will. And by the time we get done with that 15 minutes, they're like sweating, veins popping out of their head. They're like, oh, I didn't know you meant practice it like that, right? So it is a more intense thing when you're doing it with another person, and you can't stop. You need to find that next pattern in 4 beats, right? You need to be able to move all over the neck. You need to be able to do it in 8th notes, triplets, 16ths. And so I've been using that method of practice for over 20 years. And it has really, really kept all of this stuff in my head. All right, so hopefully this is helpful for you guys. Leave any comments or questions below, and we'll see you next time for episode 4. Take care.